There's going to be so much lag on my computer. That's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. Been having computer issues this week. I know everybody feels that. I haven't been in Twinmotion in like 6 months. So this is going to feel pretty rough. And also, I already know that my 3D mouse was not working properly. So I actually had to get into the app data by going. So on a Windows machine, %sign app data, %sign bam, and then get in a 3D connection, 3DXware config file. And I had to find Twinmotion 1 had a screwed up XML file. So I copied everything from Twinmotion to Twinmotion 1. But now we've got Twinmotion 2 all of a sudden showed up, which I didn't realize. And so if I hover over, yeah, it's using Twinmotion 2. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. So it's making new config files every time. I don't know what the deal with that is. So, which means it's not keeping my radial menus, which is a bummer. It's got some generic radial menu. Wonder if I could fix that. All right, so for you people using Space Mouse Pro, wireless, whatever you got, enterprise, if I want to try to copy everything from my config file, I got to look at these. So here's my config files. We're using Twinmotion 2. I want it to use Twinmotion 1, which apparently got wiped out somehow. Completely. No, I don't want to save it. Twinmotion 1 is also correct. Twinmotion 2 is not. So what's happening here? So it's got this below signature, it's got this section. So I kind of want to keep that section, but the rest, there's that signature, there's this. So if I hit my Windows key and said stop 3DXware, I did that on a second screen. That stops the 3D config for Space Mouse Pro for Twinmotion. So now that stops that means we can edit these, right? So I can copy, theoretically, I should be able to copy everything past that signature, copy, and paste it here. And that has all my old config, and try to save it. All right. So we try that. Now window key start 3DXware should fire up. And if it fires up and changes this, we'll get a notification. And if it fires up and adds a new Twinmotion file, we'll see that here, which it did not do. So theoretically, we just loaded our hotkeys up. Let's see if that worked. So it didn't load hotkeys up. Oh, but it did break. Like I can't pan and look up and down, which is the strangest thing. So something with that config file is screwed up. Oh, and we're on Twinmotion 3 now. So it did make a new one. So it looks like I have to rebuild my hotkeys from scratch, which is too bad. Let me just do a stop. Stop 3DXware. You got to wait for the spinning wheel on your mouse to go away and then kill all these Twinmotions. Maybe I'll make a backup of this one. And control, let's see, control new does a new Windows Explorer window, in case you didn't know. And then catalogs, hotkeys, and I'm just gonna drop that Twinmotion file in here in case I could use it somehow, in case I want to rebuild it slowly somehow. So I'm going to delete all the Twinmotions. Now let's hit a start 3DX where it should fire up a new one, and hopefully we get panning back. Good morning, Facebook user. You got to authorize StreamYard to see your name in order to post it with your name. Okay, so this should have fired up. Yep, now I can pan and rotate again. Yeah, I can, although that had a lot of weird lag immediately. All right, cool. All right, so this scene, doing some basic theories on setting this up. Twinmotion's interface has changed drastically to me, so I'm not exactly sure where everything is. But I knew that I wanted to cast some shadows from some trees here. That makes a lot of sense. I like using these backdrops because I think they do more accurate lighting. So that's the spherical backdrop. So you got to click on ambiance in your scene to get to environment, and in environment, that's where I got into an HDRI environment, Sky Dome, right? And you can pump up the intensity of that environment, etc. But it used to be that they're locking the sun to HDR. Sometimes I want the sun to be different from what the HDRI is doing. Sometimes I just want the look of the backdrop. In this case, I don't. I'm going to replace it, but just letting you know. And then you should be able to pump up the sun intensity was what we used to be able to do. There we go, sun intensity. And this makes it so that I can get just a little bit more realism out of this sometimes. Boy, that slider was touchy though. Let's try 3. As soon as you pump the slider in, it goes into the thousands. Okay, so let's try 500. And that makes just immediate, huge difference to the scene, right? And then the next thing is I'll get into the camera tab, field of view, 45, 35, maybe 35 degrees. That's looking like a much better shot. And then you can even do depth of field and kind of blur out that tree. But a lot of times I like doing depth of field in Photoshop because it's much easier to mask a tree in Photoshop and do a background replacement than it is to mask a blurred tree. You know, you could blur it just for the look and trying to get your composition the way you want it. That's one thing, I guess. So I want to get some side bushes in this shot. And then I already just dragged and dropped grass I'd built before. That's always fast for me. And then if we just preview what it looks like to do a path tracer, and I just set this to low mode. So notice that the path tracer just completely knocked out that effect of the sun, right? So not helpful. So let's pump the sun back up. Sun intensity. Oh, sun intensity. That's weird. Sun intensity changed when we switched to path tracer. So it's got an independent setup here. Funny. Let's try that. I wish I was on the Twinmotion development team. They did some weird things. So I'd love to be helping out. Like, why is the sun intensity blanking out the backdrop? That seems very strange to me. Auto exposure is on. That sun intensity is far too great. All right, so let's try 150. And as we pump up the samples, we might get intensity back in the backdrop. Or not. Yeah, they changed this from the last version. I'm not a fan. All right, so let's pump up. All right, that's the backdrop intensity pumped up to 4. Sun intensity is at 150. Do I see any problems with those two settings together? No, probably kind of imperceptible. Don't really notice much difference. So the other new thing is we get substance materials in here. Now I have my own materials and I like them and I know they're good, but we could check out Substance Materials, see if they've managed to make a better roof material. I doubt it. I think my roof material is pretty good. So we'll check it out. I got a comment here. That camera guy, how's it looking with Lumen? I don't recognize your screen name, by the way. So if you're new, cool. Hi. I don't love Lumen so far from what I've seen. I just haven't, it doesn't seem to make any sense to me. It makes great sense if I'm doing some kind of video walkthrough, but I don't see how, if someone could tell me how, does Lumen work with Path Tracer or is only in real time? So with real time and we kick on Lumen, I mean, that's very underwhelming. Scene detail, full. We can pump up quality. We can pump up the bounce count. And that's not going to make a difference in the scene. Bounce count's not going to make a lick of difference. It shouldn't, anyways. You can, I mean, it's nice that we can affect the shadows. That's cool. What's shadow bias doing? Interesting. You're independently affecting shadows. It's almost like it's baking shadows. Funny. Yeah. Lumen's not exciting to me here. I'll stick with Path Tracer. It's great for like, let's just see what happens when we move around. Yeah, this means we get to render a walkthrough with better quality, right? Because there's Lumen, there's standard. 100%. Well, you're definitely getting a higher frame rate here. Let's look at stats. All right, we're at 40 frames per second here. It's really underutilizing the GPU, or it's optimized GPU usage. And then switch over to Lumen and we're getting 30 frame, 25, probably 25 frames a second. So totally doable for a video walkthrough, and you're going to get better shadows. Great, but I'm not doing a video walkthrough. I'm just doing a still shot. So I'm going to stick with Path Tracer. Maybe nice to just kind of visualize previs on your Path Tracer using Lumen. There's an argument for that. All right, so let's see how we can get into, I'm going to hit the materials tab here and let me get into the library, Adobe Substance 3D, and let's click on assets and bring this into our shot and see what we got. Let's see if we can find, I doubt they're going to call it comp single or composition single, so we'll see. What do we got, Justin? What are you saying? Yeah. This is a new release, Facebook user. How do I do that? Let's see. There should have been a notification when you went to click on the stream to authorize StreamYard. Otherwise, you might have to Google that. I can't remember offhand. So not sure who that is commenting. Hey, Gianluca. I always butcher your name. I know it. Oh, here we go. Roof asphalt shingle tiles. Roof asphalt shingle tiles. It's funny that, you know what I love about the rendering industry? They don't know what we call things. That's what's really funny. So they just make up names. I mean, that's not wrong. Roof asphalt shingle tiles. Yeah, funny. All right, so I'm going to download this guy and I'm going to keep it in my material store. So we'll put it in roofing. And I'm just going to say, we're going to make a new one that's just comp shingles. And let's see that kick off. That's done. So it should be able to go switch back to Twinmotion now and click on this little like caret at the bottom. Let me see if I can make my zoom work. I don't think I can. I think it'll screw me up. So I'm not going to. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can. Hold on. Let's see. Does this work? Hey, look at that. So you click on this little caret and then click on substance at the top, right? And then now hit a plus icon, open. It would have been good when I was saving that to save the path of where I just saved that roofing, but we know where it is. Comp shingle. And here we go. Resolution 1024, 24:8. I mean, for a comp shingle, you're looking at it from a distance. 1024 is probably fine. Keeps the scene light. That's kind of nice. Creating texture maps, huh? That's cool that you get the option. It looks like you get, yeah, you get to change the option on the fly. It's funny that it even asks you in the first place. So that's cool. So if you don't like what's happening, all right, so let's throw this on. Oh, that's terrible. But you know what? Let's mess with some settings and see what I can get going on here. My face is in the way of this interface, isn't it? It'd almost be better if my face was off to the right or something. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Bear with me. Camera. Maybe if we put, we don't need to see the library, right? So look at me, I'm moving. All right, that's better, right? Something like that. Happy? Y'all happy? So now we can see some settings. Base color, roughness, metallic, normal height, basic parameters, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into our normal, first of all. Well, let's get into our scale. So where they hide scale now? Basic parameters? They always got to move stuff on us. Anytime you're developing so that other people can integrate, provide a development kit so that everything is in the same dang place. So I know exactly where I can rescale this. It's dumb that I have to go try to find this out now. Technical parameters, height, position, height range, no. So maybe it's in UV. There's where it's at. And also, like, be nice if we had some parameters for how we're even coming up with scales. So if I wanted this very specifically to be true to life, like give us some kind of grid scale on a preview image so that we know what we're doing, so that we could actually calc this out and get this comp shingle to be true. So I'm imagining that there's some colors. Here we go. So we're going to kick into, we'll just do a darker gray and an even darker gray. Oh, interesting. It's regenerating. So this is almost like so this is truly an SB-SAR. So it's modifying on the fly. That's cool. I kind of like this grayish one. Wonder if we can, what's that calling it? That's gravel, complementary color. What happens when we kick this up a few? I'm gonna hit cancel. I want to make sure that I'm retaining whatever this was. That's funny. I hit cancel and it didn't cancel. It left the color where it was. I didn't want to do that. So funny. That gravel didn't seem to affect that scene at all. All right. I mean, that's okay. Okay. Tiles amounts in inches. Oh, well, here we go. Tiles amount inches. Yeah, but that wasn't true. That scale wasn't true. They tried. Let's see. Tile slope. Aging effect, roughness. Luminosity, contrast, saturation. Normal intensity. Let's see if we can't kick this up. I'm looking at the side here because that's where I want to see that bump kicking out, right? Normal's at 100%. There's a, it's funny, they give you a normal map, but it looks like they do have a height map, but they don't have parallax checked. But even pumping up on this parallax isn't really doing much. Height map reference plane. That's almost like a plus minus. It must be height map. Yeah. Not thrilled with this. I much prefer my own. So I'm going to go back to my own. Wonder if I can search yet. Did they fix this yet? No, I still can't search my own library, which is the most useless thing ever, right? I should be able to search roofing. Yeah, I still can't search my own library. Amazing that they haven't fixed that. And they want $500 for this software. Not doing it. Sorry. Fix the basics. There you go. Look at that. So much better. You can see height over here. Oh. Meh. Yo, Twinmotion, hire me. You can kick some grunge up. Do we get details? Gain. Interesting. We've got gain in here and lift. Oh, I like lift. Very nice. You're doing like a coefficient. Gain's fun too. Cool. That's almost cartoony now. All right. I dig it. I dig it. Normal intensity could be, but normal's not making as much of a difference. All right. We got some little artifacts in this siding material. This was another substance siding material, and then it's my brick material, and then probably need to get a better dirt material here. Let's get in the landscaping. That's a little bit better, and we could probably move this down. This is where my hotkeys would have been real good, real good. I'm going to build out hotkeys. Why not? Let's do it. I'm going to do it real quick. Shouldn't take that long. Buttons. We're going to hit my F up. We're going to do new radial menu. Get an 8 position. Let's call this Twinmotion main or edit. Let's call it edit. My open object is usually 8. My delete's usually here. So let's go. Let's just search if we can do a delete key. Edit, delete. Yep. Okay. So that's delete. And then let's see. I probably want the 1 position to be eye drop. So what's this? Let's get in Twinmotion. Did you give us a bunch more stuff? Let's see. Don't want file, media, navigation, tools, material picker. Okay. So we need material picker. We need center object. Center object I'm probably going to put on 3. And what I mean by that is center pivot. Yeah. Or reset pivot, scatter, toggle, collision, toggle, gravity, toggle helpers, toggle local axis, toggle pivot, center pivot. Yep. And then what do they have? They have the next transform. I don't want that. Reset pivot, paintbrush tool. Okay. I mean, these are the main ones I need at the moment. Let's see. What else? Let's just stick with that for a second. All right. So I should be able to hit my F key and bam. Oh, and then I do want to switch to move. So what do I want to do for switch to move? Twinmotion edit. Uh, 4, 5, 6 move. Yeah. Move. Nope. What is it? What are they calling it? They're calling it something different. I think they call it rotate, actually, which is gnarly to me. Zoom to selection's nice. What is it? It's like the 5 key or something. What's the... I bet you it is. I bet you this is just 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Boy, it's lagging. It's not 4, 5, 6. What are these? What is this? What's the hotkey for this? 7, 8, 9, probably? 7, 8, 9. All right. If you keep in the edit window, you don't have to target the application the same way. All right. Now let's try it. 7. There we go. But really, I only want 8. I don't know why they still have this. It does me no good to not just see the full gizmo in all planes. It's the strangest thing to me. So we want to move this down like 0.5. Nope. Way less than that. So negative 0.501. Nope. There we go. That's about right. Let's see. My move speed's crazy. Woo! It's flying. Oh, that's because I hit the 4, 5, 6, right? How about 3? There we go. Much better. Okay, comp-wise, just got to throw in some bushes, make this look pretty. Plants exterior. What do I got? I probably have better plants than they do. Maybe they improved them. I should go look. I think I have plant groupings too, or at least I used to. Too bad we can't search tall bush. Yeah, like that's nice. That feels like it's coming from Twinmotion. I don't know why I have it saved there then. Oh, landscaping. Maybe that's where I have it saved. Oh, I should consolidate those two. Okay. So I have groupings of plants here. And they need to be centered. New version of Twinmotion. Always got to recenter all your library items. What a pain. Let's take garden feature. Let's see if I can't center it up and then shift click. There we go. And that's moving too slow. Okay. And shift click. And then something like that. I don't care if it goes in the garage because we're only doing one shot on this. Ooh, got to mess around with a lot of lag on the 3D mouse. Very strange. Didn't used to have that. Oh yeah, so much lag. Jeez. It's like it's emulating a video game controller. Strange. Too bad. Oh, let's see. So put the tree in there just for this little bit. Got the landscaping back here. Probably need something against this back fence. Maybe just throw another garden feature in there. Very slow to place. Same thing, needs to be recentered somehow for some reason. Don't know why. Would be great if it was like that. I think would be great. And this Jack Sprat's a little too obviously fake. Okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. What else? The client wanted no architectural features, didn't want to downspout gutters, nothing to make this pop as realism because the previous rendering artists didn't do all that. So kind of funny. Got to hold to a standard that's lower than my own. Whatever. All right, so I could probably work with this and throw this in Photoshop and get a good shot out of it once I pump up the sample rate. It's kind of a semi-gloss paint color on the fascia. That's okay. Not getting any reflections on the building here. I'll probably just fake that in Photoshop. Probably need to touch up this door, get some reflections on that. Let's just take a look at what this is. Roughness is 100%. It's mainly the reason for it. Could actually throw like a wood grain in there. They need to stall that. They need to have options. Options to stall the path tracer when you're making a live adjustment on a slide bar on a material. No reason why I want it to process while I'm in the middle of sliding a roughness slider. A few little discrepancies here. Fix that in Photoshop way easier. What else? This plant grouping is looking a little sad face. Maybe we'll throw some Twinmotion assets in there, see what they got. Yeah, I didn't even place anything there, and it's doing a path tracer. That's just silly. Quit using my hardware up, will ya? No need. Let's see, did they improve their bushes catalog? No, this is the exact same thing. Their bush catalog is all tropics. Like, most of us aren't working in the tropics, dude. Isn't this a UK-based company too? Where do you think you guys must be getting work over in the tropics? Let's see. So what else do they have? Mega scans, characters, tools, HDRs, objects, vegetations, and they probably have Sketchfab still. Let's go 3D plants. Garden plants, no. I'd almost wish that they would go through this and do like houseplant, ground cover, fern, weed, shrub. I get that you're calling them weed and shrub. I'd also wish there was like subcategory where it's just residential landscaping, versus a lot of this other stuff is going to be in like, in like full jungle scenes and stuff. Like choose your demographic, cater to that demographic. Most of the people going to be buying Twinmotion is going to buy it for some kind of residential rendering. Okay, so I guess I'm picking a flowering plant, flower head. I also don't want to be a landscaper to be able to understand the type of plants that I want in the front of my house. But I guess I could look up the demographic of this, like Pacific Northwest. Let's see, Pacific Northwest, I think is where my client is. Common landscape plants. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, why not? Sunset Golds, Becca Phlox. And I bet you they don't have comments either. You still have to download these, like you got to sign in. Sign into Epic Games. Okay, and now you have to download. And that downloads, I know this downloads the grouping, and then you can choose to place an individual item, right? Click for the variations. Yeah, got this. And somehow it switched on to Path Tracer. That's funny. So let's see. See, there's no sense of scale in the previous too, right? Let's just throw this in here real quick. I'll just download a few things. Bird of Paradise. These itty bitty little dots are still annoying too. I'm just going to be bitching a little bit, I suppose, about their interface and other things. Like, why you got to click on this little itty bitty dot just to get something going? I previously downloaded Boxwood, so now where's that taking up space on my place, on my computer? Rosemary bush, down with it. Yeah, make it so that the layman can put together a garden very quickly, because that's the only reason. That's the only reason I'm using Twinmotion. My software does everything but the foliage, but the bushes, but the trees. So Twinmotion does it better, but the organization of it's just absolutely terrible. And why not just give the option to download, a particular set of assets that might cater to a particular need, right? So let's give the option to, as you're updating your Twinmotion, hey, download the residential, landscaping package of common bushes for your region. Why not? I could sell me some product if I had a catered package. That's for sure. Twinmotion, put me on your team. I'll help you out. I swear. "25 years as a rendering artist. Hook me up." But that's a slow download. Or it stopped. What happened here? Okay. Oh, that was weird. Right? Yeah. I totally agree. And I mean, this is just us talking off the cuff. Is it the cuff or the cusp? What's the what's the where did that come from? Off the cuff? I thought it was off the cuff. But yeah, if we actually sat down with the team and really thought about this, how do we want to pose this particular software? Who's going to be buying it? What's the demographic of users that are using it? What are they using it for? And if we're using it for residential architecture, let's cater to that. It's off the cuff. Yeah. Wonder what that's from. What do you think that's from? Talking tie loose off the cuff. This is the longest object creation ever. What's going on here? You frozen on me? That's my other association with Twinmotion. Be prepared for it to freeze and die. Hopefully it's not, though, but it certainly looks like it is. It's just stuck. What's going on? Look at a resource monitor. What are you doing, Twin? Oh, there it goes. All right, so this is funny. Oh, okay, you have to actually click on it. Yeah, man, they got some coding issues. They got all kinds of things they could fix in here. I just don't want to pay for a software that's like not polished at all. Like, what is happening here? I'm clicking on things and nothing's happening. It's using a heck of a lot of RAM right now for some reason. Which is odd. Used to be able to place this boxwood very easily. It's not letting me. So something's going on. Don't know what. Formal dress off, yeah. Informal. Oh, that makes sense. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it should cater to the gamer crowd that are creating gaming environments. Absolutely. Twinmotion people, they're using that. But I don't feel like the gaming community is using this. I feel like they're using Unreal because that's what I would do if I was in the gaming community. All right, that boxwood's terrible. I don't know what's happening with that, or if it's not just the boxwood, it's other things, but that wasn't working. Nope. All right, so let's get a rosemary. Can I get a rosemary bush to go? Okay, that works. Again, they have no preview of scale here, so you have to click through everything to understand what the scale even is. Like, what if I want a big rosemary bush? I have no idea. So I just downloaded a bunch of assets for super tiny little rosemary sprigs. No one's thinking this through. Like, that's frustrating. I'm just wasting time here. That's just really dumb. Like, I wanted to think, I want a few bushes in front of my existing bushes that are half the size. What can I put there? And I can't do that. I should have been able to do that in 2 minutes. That's just ridiculous. So I'm just gonna edit it in with Photoshop. I'm gonna just edit this whole section out with Gen Fill because it's easier to do that than dealing with this interface. What a dumb thing. What do you call a shrub? Shrub? Urban shrub? Okay, an acacia. See what happens here. I like how they did the scale with the person standing next to the trees, so they definitely had that in their wheelhouse of understanding that we needed to know some idea of scale of the assets that we're downloading. So it's just very strange that they're not using the same exact approach. This is a quality control issue. Do the same exact approach through all of your assets. You've shown scale on other assets, show scale on all of your assets. All right, this is okay. I got to get off the island. Let's just go. Let's just throw some stuff in here. It's not as good as I want it to be, but that's okay. Okay, so let us. Here's the other thing that I noticed in the previous version is it was always running path tracer even when you're setting up an export. So like I want to create a new image here. Okay, that's my image 2. And now we're in media mode, so I should be able to set to medium quality. I don't know why Windows Explorer just popped up. That was weird. What do we have in details? What does this do? Oh, this is just a sample rate. Max bounces, sample emissivity, noiser, fireflies 30. Okay. So I should be able to render this out now. I don't know. This tree isn't doing anything because it's not casting any shadows. So I can fake a tree that will look better than this. So let me ditch this. Oh, I forgot to move this guy. Let's just shift click him back here. And then, yeah, they always default to this gizmo, which is really hard to move things with, as opposed to this gizmo, which is, no, this gizmo, the rotate gizmo, which is much easier to move and duplicate with. Oh, weird, it's not letting me drag it off scene. Oh, because it's, what is happening here? Quit media mode. Stop ray tracing. So I wonder if it leaves ray tracing on that shot now. It used to be it would not. Like you had to be in path tracer mode for that shot to be working. All right, so instance, I wish they gave us a rotate or, vary as you instance, because it'd be nice because I'm moving foliage. I want it to not look exactly like the thing next to it usually would be the case. That would be like a true variable instance setup. All right, media. Let's go image 2. All right, let's export this, see what happens. Why is it making me sit here for the path tracer when I want to export the image? And it's going to path trace. Craziness. So they're calling, I guess they're calling full HD 2K. All right. That typically was just called HD. 2K would typically be a higher resolution, slightly, I believe. I think that's in the 21 area. Tiled rendering, no, we don't need to do tiled rendering. So we'll digitally upscale this when we're done. Probably going to go back to my educational version so I can export to 4K because I don't see the improvements here. And then what am I clicking on here to actually export? Oh, I have to click on export image there. Image 2. Start export. And this is for Mission Mill Homes. Bam. She gave us the option to rename what that image is from there and have it conversely rename the image that's in the media mode. It's lagging right now. I wonder if it's using both my graphics cards or just one. I bet it's just using one. Okay, let's shut this down. Look at it, it's trying to path trace after it's done exporting. They still haven't fixed that. That's just silliness. Okay, save this. And what are we going to do? We are going to Photoshop it. Experiencing lag. Okay, what do we got? Let's do all right. What are we going to do to this? Look at they put their stamps on the community edition. I'm sorry, Twinmotion, I am not going to allow you to remain. Look how bad the grass looks at 2K. That shouldn't be happening. That grass looks terrible. This doesn't seem like 2K to me. Okay. Oops. Let's just jump off the bat and see what we could do with some filters. All right, all my filters are built for chief architect rendering, so I'm gonna have to actually come in here and mess around with it. Exposure seems to be fine. Well, first of all, let's just get a different sky model in there. That's funny. The sky is not masking correctly. Usually would. Let's test that theory. Yeah, it's not masking correctly at all. So instead, why don't we just figure this out ourselves? Okay. Really wants to fight me on that fence. Both sides. I'm looking at right there, part of the building? Seems strange. All right, getting there. Let's just J this up. Okay. Maybe throw in our own sky from online somewhere. That'd be fun. Background with trees. And tools. Wait, images. Tools. Size. Let's go larger than 4 megs. That was a pretty generic search to be pumping out. Could throw it in a mid-journey, see what they give us. Background with trees. I'm not mad at this one. I could work with it. Resolution 2500. Yeah, okay. A little flippy. Okay. It's funny. I kind of like that. Yeah, it's not terrible. Let's see if we can't do some color grading to that. Let's just group this. This is background. And then pop this in so you guys can see what I'm doing. There's a way to do large icons here. Large layers. Large thumbnails. Oh, it is large thumbnails. Whatever. All right, so there's our background. Let's just throw in some kind of, I think, a color balance. 2 green, enough green, 2 purple, enough purple. There we go. A little less there. Let's throw in hue saturation adjustment. Let's throw in some atmospheric, like, haze. Maybe we'll throw in a gradient. Right? Yeah, better. Okay. I mean, that's not looking bad. That's not looking bad. Although it's showing the sun up here and the sun's clearly not up there. Whoops. Let's just throw a stamp in this. Do I want to desaturate the back at all? Let's see. Yeah, right about there. That's looking good. Okay. Stamp it. Let's mess with it. I think there was a couple fixes to do, but let's mess with this first. So exposure is all right. And then let's kick up dehaze. Do we want a vignette? Yeah, slightly. Might be able to do that after the fact, though. Let's do a vignette after the fact. So I'll set that to 0. Let's see. Anything with our saturations, luminance. The fence looks pretty good. The color on the building's completely wrong. I messed that up. That was supposed to be blue. How did that get messed up? Funny. I'm gonna have to mess with that. Dang, too bad. That was dumb on my part. I could try to mask it and color it, but nah. It's not even registering as blue. Funny. Everything else looks pretty good there. I like throwing a little blue in the shadows. We can warm the highlights a little bit or cool them down. I actually kind of want to cool it down, but then turn up the warm somewhere else. Kick sharpening up just a little bit, but it's really screwing up that tree on the left. But we'll probably make this a foreground tree. It almost looks like it is, so that's okay. Yeah, this is not looking bad. Oh, look, they have lens blur in here. Interesting. It's built into the camera raw filter now. That's cool. For those of you still watching, we got lens blur in the camera raw. That's super cool. So what do we have? Circle, modern, circular lens. Oh, we even have options for lenses. Standard circular shape with overcorrected spherical. That's really cool. Okay, so blur amount, blur boost, focal range. Just the range of depths that are in focus. So it's blurring this is seeing as foreground. So it's not seeing that tree as foreground. Because if we bring this back, oh, this is so clever. And then I bet you I can move this slider to adjust where it starts. That's really cool. I wonder how I could target. Let's see, visualize depth, refine. What's our refine button? Oh, we can paint it in. Oh, what? I've not seen this. This is so cool. Okay, so we can paint in the tree. This is awesome. Brush to add focus, brush to add blur. This is amazing. Are you kidding me? It's absolutely amazing. Oh, happy kid. Make my life easier and I could kiss you. Brilliant Photoshop. You taking notes, Twinmotion? This is how you make a good software. That's amazing. So cool. All right. If I hold, if I hold Alt key, that does subtraction and also resizes with mouse wheel. So there we go. Fix the opposite blur on the shingles. This is very, very cool. So blur amount, we're going to kick back down. It's a little heavy. Somewhere in there. That's pretty good. Okay. Should have done, I know how to fix this. I should have done a duplicate layer. That's what I should have done because I want to fix, this blur is a little heavy right here, down here. So I want to adjust that. Brush size, feather, flow. Yeah, okay. Let's adjust distance. Okay, adjust distance and then kick blur amount down again. Something to be learned. Cool. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to press OK. That adjusts the scene, but then I want to revert that. Oh, actually, I don't need to. I could just make a new stamp from here. All right, new stamp from here. Drop this on top of that one. And then we're going to mask it based on what? I'll just mask it. It's fine. And then let's invert the mask, Control I. and then hit my brush in here and need to apply the same filters, but minus the blur. So apply previous settings, and then kick down to the lens blur. Lens blur is not on. Interesting. So press OK, and now I should be able to brush out that blur. Although it's still, that's interesting. It's showing blur. Wait, brush. True white. Oh, I'm in the pixels. Oops, I'm not in the mask. There we go. So there, I'm taking away that focal blur there. So I want to feather that back in. I just don't want it so heavy. So we're going to take this to a medium gray. There we go. Feather back and feather wide, and there we go. There we go. Light focal blur there. Oops. Nice. All right, cool. Restamp it. Why not? I don't care. Destructive workflow. It's not the worst thing in the world. Since I haven't done this in a while, let's see if I can't up my pen game, my pen tool. I guess we should have called this Twinmotion and Photoshop, right? Oops. Sorry, guys. Let me use the space mouse. Kicking this around. Probably just could have used the object selection tool, but I want to practice with the pen real quick. Make selection path. Okay, so let's just J it. And then, all right, maybe I will do make selection path here, or object selection tool. Yeah. Try it again. It's a pretty good selection. Control J it, Control E together, and then let's apply a hue saturation just to the mask below. Let's do colorize. And this is supposed to be blue-ish. And then I'm going to do multiply would probably be good. Screen would probably be okay as well. Hard light's a little intense. Hue could be it. Hue would probably be best. Better, best. That actually looks pretty close. except for it doesn't allow me to make finite adjustments. So let's try with multiply. I would have to crank this up. It's supposed to be a grayish blue. Only problem with multiply is it's always gonna be dark. So we're gonna have to make that same mask to an exposure, which is okay. That actually looks pretty good. Actually looks pretty real. Not bad. And then we got to mask out the one problem with this was masking out the window here. We forgot to mask that out. By we, I mean me. We. Okay. Yeah, that's looking all right. That's a pretty good shot. That's a pretty good rendering, honestly. Tooting my own horn, I guess. So we got some things to fix. Let's add a fix layer. Stop being destructive. Let's be a little bit better than that. Let's do stamp, pump stamp up. Let's sample all layers. What? Nope. Get down here. What the hell? What am I doing wrong here? Why is it not? Oh, that's because this. Duh. Hold on. It's because we masked that area. There. That's kind of it. It's just not as dark as it should be. So let's fix that real quick. Let's just. Yeah. Stamp. Pop. There. That's okay. That's a little bright. Maybe not. Yeah, sure. Okay. What other little fix that I need? Probably just some little, oops, some little grassy things right here would be nice to fix just this little areas here with the lasso. Probably bet you Genfill does a decent job of this right here. Let's just try it. How long are we streaming? Let's see. What's the timestamp? Hour and a quarter? Yeah. All right. Losing my butt on this job already. Look at that. Genfill. Thank you. Thank you. Much better. What's the other option? Yeah, that looks realistic-ish. That's bad. First one's good. Okay. I like it. I think that's done. Let's see what kind of complaints they make. They're probably going to say, well, don't put that tree shadow on there. And I'm going to be like, that's too bad. And I'll have to re-render from Twinmotion. That's why we save our cameras. Some of this blur is uneven. That's too bad. We could actually come in here with a blur brush if we wanted to. Sample all layers. I don't love this tree over here. Let's try a gen fill. Why not? Just leave some of the tree in there so it knows what it's doing, I think is the trick. Oh, and then the last little fun touch to do is I might have to do this with a pen. It's easier to do with a pen. Genfield did all right on that tree. Let's see. That's even better than it was. That's not good. I don't love that one. That one's a little bit better. What was it before? Was that before? That looks better. It does. Nice job. Let's see. I'm going to come in on this house real quick. We're going to just pen this in ourselves. Just going to brush this in. Let's just grab this color, get this nice and fuzzy, and we're going to make some shingles, right? So it's just going to be like that. Oh, we got some lag. Kind of looks like there's shingles here already, a little bit-ish, but not up here where it should. Oops. Ah! Uh-oh. Lost the camera. It's attached to my pen tablet. Whoops. That was a little rough. Let's do that. Okay. Sample. It's nice to throw this in and throw it on a mask, and then you can kind of tweak between the two, especially if I put it on its own layer, but I didn't because that was dumb. You know, dumb things. But from this distance, that looks a lot better. Right? Ish. The other thing you can do is you could just like throw new layer on and then just kick a bunch of like, do an interesting brush. So like, let's see, what's another, like a fur brush or something, some weird brush, and kicking this just grungy looking Yeah, something like that. And then kick the opacity down, right? And then double click to get to layer styles and start blending if. So underline layer blend if, and then split the two and kick it up a little bit. Split it back down. Same thing, white side, split the two. Yeah, you add a little bit of grunge to it. It's a beautiful shot. I like it. So let's kick this out real quick. Actually, it's got all those weird little artifacts. Let's fix those real fast. And then after that, we're gonna kick it out, upscale it, throw a stamp on it. Let's kick, what can we do? New layer, and then sample all layers and fix this little dot. That should have been, oh, it should have been up here. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I got a few of those. That was from that substance material. Don't know why. Yeah. Let's see. We're going to call this 96236 B1. And we can take this into Topaz Labs and pump it up, or Gigapixel. Gigapixel would be good. Probably could have done Gigapixel's plugin. I can't remember if they do inside Photoshop or not. Let's see. Filter, Topaz Labs. No, they just have Photo AI and Sharpen AI, but they don't have Gigapixel for this one. So, mission mills. There we go. Plans 231 and 999. Hey, look at all the grain. The denoise are not quite doing its job. Don't need it to be two. I just need 2 times. Yeah, that's all right. And then for the social media, let's just kick into my libraries and drop in my logo. A little glowy one. Cool. Anybody got any questions? Still watching? Only a couple of people watching. Otherwise, I'm going to end it. Need me to demonstrate something? Show something? All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully you got something out of this.